Welcome back, everybody, to the arcade journey. Today we're going to talk about Midway Coin Doors, and specifically Midway Coin Doors, because with just a few little variations, they're all pretty much the same, which makes it really cool. So this one we're looking at is off of a Ms. Pac-Man, and the biggest difference that you'll run into is, like, for example, on a Galaga or a Ms. Pac-Man, they'll have this little extra bit of lighting right here, extra bit of wiring rather, that runs these lights, these little light bulbs. And like this one, this is off the Galaxian right here. Have a look at it. It's pretty maggoted up. You can see a little bit more simple. Some of the wiring's already been cannibalized, but we're going to, that's fine, we can fix all that. It's a little loosey-goosey. I just took this thing off. We're gonna, yeah, you can see it's gonna need some serious love, but we'll give it all the love it needs, so it's no problem. So, but you see there's no lights. So, like Galaxian and Pac-Man didn't have lights, so there you go. It wasn't until Ms. Pac-Man that someone said at Midway, hey, let's light up the coin door. That would look more cool. And they were right. They were totally right about it. It is more cool. But there you go. So we're going to work on specifically this Galaxian one. And we're going to get it all beautiful again. And Galaxian actually was not black. It was actually gray. You look at like a Space Invaders, they were gray. I think a Seawolf, those were kind of gray, but they weren't black. So we're gonna put this one back into as original shape as we can cosmetically. And so we're gonna make it gray. That's the plan anyway, unless I change it along the way. This one, when we redo that, boy, this thing's a mess. A lot of rust on there. How do they get like this? That's what I always wonder. It's like, what do people do? You just like leave it outside for 6 years? I mean, I guess that's what they did. But anyway, this one's pretty fouled up too. Whew, yeah, man. You got our work cut out for us here. But don't worry, we'll get it. We'll get it. So, but so that's what we're gonna do. We're getting started, and we'll start digging into it and show you how this all goes. We're on the journey. So I removed the paint, some of the paint from the badge here, just to kind of get a look at it and see how it was. And you know, yeah, I actually have a replacement for this, a reproduction replacement for the badge, which looks super nice. It's kind of sad, you know, I'm gonna have to drill these rivets out and remove this little badge, and it's always cool if you can leave the original ones on there. This is an original one. This is how they originally looked. It's kind of gold, you know, with this design here. There was several different ones, you know, I'm probably going to say it wrong. There was at least 3 different designs of this face badge. This being kind of the first one, and then if I remember right, there was another one that actually had some text, and then this is the one that most people are familiar with. And it says, you know, a ballet company video is our game. And that's, but the very early games had this badge. And I think they had some left over at the factory, because my buddy has a Galaga that has this badge on it. And for all practical purposes, it looks like it's original. It could have been switched at some point, or someone could have just switched the door part, but I mean, it looks all OEM. So, you know, it would make sense. They have a few of these leftovers, whatever, in a first run, and they throw one on there. But you know, I mean, every other Galaga I've ever seen has, you know, that one on it. So the next step is, I took the lock off there. You see how bent up we are here. We're gonna do a little bit of body work, but we're gonna take the hardware off here. Generally, it's all just 1/4-inch screws. You know, take a picture of it so you can kind of see how it goes back together. We're obviously going to have to do a bunch of rewiring here. That's fine. We'll check these switches later and make sure the switches, they look good. They probably work just fine. But we'll check them, make sure they work. And we'll get, this is bent. Wow, gosh, this thing's been abused. Something else. So, but we're gonna fix it. That's what we do. So, we're gonna go ahead and take this thing apart and secure these parts, and that way we can work on the door itself. All right, so literally just a couple of minutes. Oh, I forgot to even take these out. So, it's there. Whew, man, ugly. They make reproductions of these. I actually have some. It looks pretty bad. We can get most of that off of there. We could probably make that presentable. We'll goof around with it and see. I don't know. It's probably not worth it, but we'll give it a try. Got these little tiny washers there. Those are easy to lose. These little jobs. Little teeny carriage bolt. Pretty rough, people. Alright, but she's stripped, okay? So now it makes it a lot easier to work on. And we can take the door physically off here too, which we'll probably do. And that way we can deal with the frame by itself. And we can deal with the door by itself. Here's something that these look original. And someone had kind of painted over the back, which they're not lit up, so who cares, right? They don't look too bad. We can clean those up. But I think what we're gonna do first is we're gonna triple thick the back of these, because it's just like a marquee. It's kind of like a silk screen printing or whatever on the back. Here's the other one right here. They don't look bad. Those are probably salvageable. So here's the deal. Everybody knows this. All right, triple thick. We're gonna shake it up here. We're gonna just give them a little coat there. And see about preserving them. That way, when we get in the front with alcohol and whatever and start really scrubbing them, we're not going to accidentally start stripping the artwork off the back. Yeah, that's probably enough shaking. We'll just spray them. That's good enough. All right, we'll let that dry. And then those things will be good for another 150 years. So, all right, so we're gonna just have to figure out, whew, man, I just keep looking at this thing thinking, what a mess. So let's see what we can do with it here. So we've done some body work on it, literally just a few minutes. And this steel that they used is, I don't know what gauge it is, but when you can bend it. So this is a lot better. This is actually going to be okay, and I think it's going to look really good. Sometimes they're not fixable. This one, but here, I mean, if you've got precision body tools like these right here, this is a precision tool. This is a really precision tool right here, and this little 1x3 back here. That is probably the most precision tool used in coin door body work. So yeah, just a little pounding and a little bit of adjusting and a little bit of plier bending, and you can see we have a little bit more work to do here. But I mean, just after, you know, literally just a few minutes, it's pretty much straightened back out, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be just fine. And keep in mind too, when the door's closed, if it's a little wrinkled right there, you know, that's totally hidden. So even if you can't get that perfect, I mean, I know you'll lose sleep at night over it, because I do, but no one else is gonna know. So you know, you can keep it a secret at least. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Thank God for precision body tools. That's the stuff you need to have, people. So, all right, we'll keep working on it here. Okay, so we came out here to the what's going to be the arcade, and let's have a look at it since we're out here. We're waiting for some weather to change, and of course we're gonna have to move all this stuff out of here so we can paint and put in a bunch of new electrical, etc., etc. But we do have the LED lighting up there for the standard lighting all set up and ready to go, and just have a lot of more steps to go. But it's been tornadoes and all kinds of junk going on out here in northern Alabama, and the weather's been really crappy. So that's a springtime project, and the goal is to have this thing done by fall and running and ready to go, and I think that's very obtainable. So but I came out here to get some evaporust, and then I saw this. I gotta show everybody this. This is a very you know, it's a pretty rare thing right here. It's really super heavy. It's cast. It's in great condition. It's a coin door off of a Cinematronics machine. It's pretty cool. I found that in a barn. I think I gave the lady 20 bucks for it. But man, yeah, it's in great shape. Anyway, I just have it, so if somebody has a Cinematronics machine and needs it, let me know, and we can work out a deal, I'm sure, because it's just sitting here in my arcade / shop. But what I came out here for was this. We're gonna give this a shot, and I'm gonna show you why, and it may or may not work, but we're gonna give it a shot. So these plungers are really rusted, and they are seized. I pounded on them a little bit. They are really seized up. I don't know if we're going to be able to really make them work and or look good again, but we're going to try. And if not, I've got some other ones here that I've salvaged. And well, you never throw anything away. I've got some other ones in here I've salvaged that are in at least better shape, that are not seized, as you can see. So we can use those if we have to, but I would rather not. I'd rather fix the ones that are on there. So we're gonna try this Evapo-Rust. Went and we got some new Tupperware. It's really nice. And we're gonna just kind of put that in there. We're gonna fill that thing up, and we're gonna let it soak for, I don't know, a day or two and see what happens. Okay, so we poured the Evapo-Rust, and the rusty part that we're dealing with is both submerged. I got them into one container instead of two. So we'll see what happens. See there, it's submerged, and we'll just let it do its thing, and you can't make it any worse, so we'll just see how it goes. Okay, it's been about a day-ish, and we pulled these out of the Evapo-Rust, and you know what? They don't look too bad. Needs a little polishing, but look at this. Got that rust off of there. These things were seized up pretty bad, and now they are functional. So yes, I'd say that's a success. We dropped the coin chutes in there too, and they actually cleaned up fairly decently as well. So we went ahead and made a tank full of Evapo-Rust, and we've got the coin door soaking in there, and it's coming along nicely, and we'll have that thing ready to paint here very shortly. We've already painted the frame. It's out drying right now. We'll look at that here in a little bit. We switched over to the Krylon dark matte pearl color because it looked pretty close in the store, and we're gonna see how that goes. So yeah, we'll just keep chugging along on it here. So far, I'm pretty happy with the results. I think it's going to look really nice. Here's a quick look at the coin door frame as it's drying. And it's coming along. It's going to need, I think, at least another coat here. Try to get everything smoothed out as much as possible. And I think it'll look great. We'll keep working. Okay, so we hit the coin door with its first coat. And one thing I'll say about the Krylon, it does actually go on very nice. And it dries a whole lot quicker, it seems, than the Rust-Oleum does. That's my first impression of it. We'll see how the long-term result is. It's really windy out here. Look up here at the trees. It's not the greatest day for painting, but you know, what do you do? So we've already got some debris stuck in the paint, which is just great. Just super. I love it when that happens. So the frame's looking pretty sweet. And we're going to go in and we're going to find our some of the reproduction parts for it. And wait for that paint to dry, and we'll get it put back together. All right, so we've got the reproduction aluminum badge ready to go. It actually is a stick-on deal. You get those from Arcade Shop. They don't use the rivets. One could drill holes in that, and one could find the rivet gun, and one could find some brass rivets and put it back in with the rivets. Or one could just stick it on like it's designed to, and you know, it looks really good. It's a lot easier. So these are about $9.95 a piece. They look real nice. We're going to go ahead and use those. Those are reproductions. These are the original ones. I thought I had another set of these, but I don't. But these are adequate, and once we get them cleaned up a little bit and put back in, I think they're going to look really sharp. So that's all ready to go. All we got to do now is get it put back together. And we got to wait for the paint to dry first. But in YouTube world, it'll dry like here in just a second. You're going to see it like back together. In the Arcade Journey world, it's going to take a little longer. So enjoy YouTube world. And there it is. You know, I'm going to go and go ahead and say the Krylon is the way to go. This is what we used on it. It dries very fast. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it. It did a nice job. Well, we'll see how it weathers over time, but yeah, the initial result is very positive. So, and that's the finished product right there. So we've got a key on there. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. Make sure we don't scratch up our paint, because it's probably not all the way cured yet. Here's the back. I'll put back together. I haven't put the coin mechs in it. Frankly, not sure where the coin mechs are. I just used this original wiring that we had in here, and we'll hook it back together. And I might replace this one because it's got the little connector, and there's no reason for that. We'll just get another piece and solder it in there. But I tested the switches; they work, so they're fine. And everything, of course, you know, I'll probably set this game up to run on quarters, actually. So we want all that to work. So, but there it is. Looks okay, you know. You can see some of the body work if you look real close here. But you know, it's not bad. And in the arcade and arcade lighting, it's gonna look really sharp. So thanks for checking it out. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found some entertainment in it. And you know, appreciate you coming along wherever you are and whoever you are. Have a wonderful evening. Don't ever forget to take care of your people. And we look forward to seeing you back on the arcade journey.